Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Factorio Friday Facts number 374 review and reaction. Ghost reacts, right? So I was thinking about skipping this one, but I think it's pretty important because I've been playing Factorio for a while, and the bots have been improved in the next expansion of Factorio coming up 2.0, the Space Age. And I think this is a pretty big one to cover. Even though it's a quality of life, and the way they're presenting this here is like, yeah, I know you want flashy things, but we had to work on the bots, and we got to do other things. Now, I'm sure trains are in there as well, because trains have been a problem here and there. They did a lot of improvements over the course of Factorio from its start to 1.0, even into 1.1. Now, the bots and fluid dynamics, I hope they go. Oh, God, I hope they work on fluid dynamics in the game. That may, if they do that in 2.0, that's going to be huge too. Fluid dynamics, bots, and trains are the biggest parts of the game, and if they don't work right, you get frustrated. But a lot of players have worked around that and figured ways to make it work. Just like Fallout, Bethesda, Todd Howard, it just works. Well, that's what you have to do in Factorio sometimes with these indie games, small teams. You just got to figure a way around an issue that can't be really easily fixed unless it took thousands of hours to fix it on their end. So here's what's funny. Kovrex comes in and all these cloning Kovrex and Oxt, I guess his name is. So I'm going to summarize some of this stuff by looking at the image because I've already read through this to speed the Friday Facts up here discussion. So this is really important, this part right here, and it explains why this explains why it's important to have the quality of life improvement for the bots. And hopefully, like I said, the fluid dynamics trains too. So hello, today we are going to talk about some flying robot behavior improvements. Some of the problems we fixed were reported countless times. So I hope that some people will appreciate it. Oh no, there's going to be a lot of people appreciating this one. So it's funny because he did smiley face at the end of it. They know it's a problem, but like I said, the undertaking is another story. So quality of life versus flashy features, Kovrex. Now, this is a pretty good take here, and it just shows it shows you how how smart these guys are, right? I know that you are mainly looking forward to new content. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a game that works over, a few features that are great and a game that's even better, right? So, anyway, and that just quality of life improvements aren't the kind of things that make people buy the game and get excited for it. So he's saying that, yeah, I mean, you got this great game, but it's garbage. Okay, and people are frustrated with it, and they groan. They want to play it, but they groan. That's not the experience you want, and that's not the experience they want either. But they know they have problems, and now they have the time to fix it. So here, the next paragraph here. But I strongly believe that if you want to add content, mechanics, and systems to a game which already isn't simple, there's always a risk of just it being too much. Okay, and I think English isn't his first language, and the sentence structure is quite choppy with a lot of commas in it. This could have been worked to be more flow. But I'm, like I said, they're from Czech Republic, so probably not. English is probably their first language, or whatever. So I can forgive that, obviously. By doing quality of life improvements, we reduce the small hassles and annoyances, which effectively creates an extra mental space to enjoy more in the game. It's like cleaning your room before getting a new toy. Now, I would use the analogy of a car. You have an engine that was designed 50 years ago. It's a gas-guzzling, smoke-spewing, leaky engine with old technology, and then just creating a new body. Right, so it's like let's say you got a 2023 Corvette with a 1950s big block engine in there or something like that, or just as an example. Well, oh wow, look at all these flashy things in the Corvette. Oh, you got this adjustable seats and all this blah blah. And but the engine is 50 years old. And that's kind of what they're talking about here. That's how I would go about it. It's like you got to improve the engine and the body and this and that, you know. So to make things clear, the reason we make and present these kinds of changes is not because we don't want to make new flashy features. We just want the new stuff to be enjoyable without a burden of having too much to deal with. But don't worry, we'll show you something new next week. There you go. So next week, I'm definitely doing a Friday Facts. Smarter robots. Okay, now, the old way. If you wanted to transfer 500, I'm going to summarize this. You wanted to transfer 500 items, the bots would come from anywhere in the base. So how it was allocated was, I have 500 bots free. Each one of them gets a task, no matter where they are. Okay. Now they're changing it, and oh, here's the trees. So your player character here. Let's wait for this to restart here. The player character bots grab a couple trees, and they are allocated to some tree stuff, but it also allocated bots from across the darn base, including a Pliff explosive there. So it was kind of annoying because you're sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. You're like, why aren't my bots doing this? So that's how it worked in the, you know, if you're in a network with a RoboPort network and your personal bots. So now what we have here are bots being allocated based on where they are, and it doesn't get assigned a task. So each, you know, you have 500 bots, gets 500 tasks no matter where they are. Now it's more dynamic as to where are the bots currently versus where, yeah, so it's where are the bots currently, keep assigning tasks to the closest bots that are free after the task is done. So instead of assigning it all at once, it's more of a, you know, assign, I think is how they're doing it. So that's pretty cool. Here's the tree example. Now, I don't want to go into the details because this video would go crazy. You can read this on the Factorio website, you know, if you want, or you can pause the video and read what I have here. So here is now notice how the worker bots, the players bots are actually working more than the factory bots. It's amazing. And then of course we're going to get some performance updates on that. Smarter bot, other things, RoboPort requests, and this is huge. All right, so I can summarize this right now. You can actually have a set amount. You can set an amount that is required to be in a RoboPort based on where, you know, where the demand is, right? So what, in a sense, is what this is doing here. The old way was the bots are, see how the bots are coming from everywhere now? And then they fly off and they do something else. And then they may go in these RoboPorts. Well, the player here, I want my stuff now. Bring me it. But bots are coming from all over the place. And then they don't, so in other words, they go and roost wherever the last request was. Well, now you can force them to come back to a specific RoboPort because, you know, as a player, you're coming in to get stuff so you could build. And now I don't want to wait, you know, bring me stuff. Can someone answer me this question? Why is there these wires here without a number on them? Usually wire has like a number, like it'll have a number 11111. I don't understand. These stack to 200, so I don't understand how's this wire without a number? And there's more wire here. What's going on with this? Is this are they setting a filter and they don't have the wire in there? I don't know. Usually it's grayed out, but whatever. So now the resupplying of the player and also basic function. If you do bot builds, this is really good for you. Then, now the charging. Okay, so they updated the charging. Before, bots used to swarm. And notice how the bots are sitting here and they're collecting around the most closest RoboPort. Now what they're doing is they're reading, basically there's communication between bots is what's going on here. So they're like, oh, this bot is going to that RoboPort, so I'm going to go to a different one. I'm curious to see how this will work going forward. But here is the new way now. So see how they're not swarming now. And so there is some communication. I'm wondering if there is communication between this bot. Oh, I'm in. And then another bot coming by will go, oh, I can take that spot as opposed to going over here now. So there must be some intercommunication between the bots and how they are, allocating to the charging posts there. This one's pretty cool, but I don't, I play with small lakes. But this is kind of an interesting behavior that they program now and changed. Before, I did have this problem one time, though, way back when the map generation was so crap that you'd get these just freaking enormous lakes for no reason. And then they worked on it a lot more and made it a lot better. So you can actually make lakes smaller and less dense, because you would be doing landfill like more than playing the game sometimes. And this is what the bots would do if they had a request over here and there was a lake in the middle of it, which I mean, you don't be doing these big bot builds like this. This is nuts. This is common sense tells you don't do this, but they improved it. Look at that. So now the bots, what they do is they slow down when they run out of charge and go towards roboports that make sense. Look at this. They're going this way and that way. And they slow down now as opposed to making an attempt. I can't make it and go back. Making an attempt. Oh, I can't make it. Go back. And I had this problem once because I had a lot of lakes. Like I said, it was way back before you could do more with map generation before you started a playthrough. So now they've improved that. So next week, this is gonna be a short one. Next week, I'm definitely gonna do this. The problem is I do a Fallout. I release a Fallout on Fridays right now, and I might have to release this in the evening Friday. So they do this in the morning, I think, really early. So I have to jump on this, get the recording, and get the episode up in the thumbnail and all that, and get it up on the channel after the Fallout, because I'm doing this on Monday right now. But so I'm going to have to do some changes to this. And as of this recording, I just got 600 subscribers. So I want to thank you all for hitting that subscribe button and not hitting the unsubscribe button, although that does happen. And I understand. But yeah, just hit 600. We'll see if it sticks. Sometimes there's unsubs, So I don't want to do any celebratory videos on 600, But thanks for hitting that sub button and staying subbed. And I'll see you in the next Friday Facts next week. Hopefully it will be on a Friday. I'll try and remember to do that. And I'll see you then. Peace out.